Stuart, I'm keen though, like people talk, tax, as I mentioned, it's a real pain point for people. I know that you do a lot of work with business owners and investors as well. What would you say, where are the big areas that people go wrong when it comes to tax and their tax planning, other than what you just mentioned around the planning itself?
Yeah, tax planning, right? So we can talk about businesses, right? So a lot of businesses owners, they're doing fairly big transactions. Perhaps at least the ones that we speak with, their cap table is quite it moves a lot. So it's not just about two founders anymore; it's about the third one. One of the two founders may have exited. You may bring an investor on board, and each time you do these maneuvers, there's always a big tax event there, or generally, and we want to make sure that we've got all of our bases ticked off before we even consider those huge events. And it's also the other big thing that we don't really see much planning around from is the BASs, right? So when we do our own cash flow forecast, we're very big fans of monthly budgets, and we factor in the super, we factor in the pay-as-you-go withholding, because every quarter or so that super, then that pay-as-you-go withholding, that's a big chunk of for a lot of people's cash accounts. But you won't often see that in the projections, as you'll find you can easily produce on Xero, some of the other online SaaS software. They won't talk to you about tax. They won't talk to you about super. Whereas we've kind of had to manually add that into our considerations as we go. So we would just advise that if you're doing forward projections, make sure you've got those BASs and company tax expectations there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We started doing that in that pivot, like for me, with the financial management of the business about in the last financial year, because I was just, especially as our team was growing, you end up just getting caught out by these, the BAS just keeps increasing with all those PAYG withholdings and the super payments and stuff. So provisioning for them and reading it from the balance sheet and knowing what your true position is, because especially as a business starts to get some good growth behind it, you see these numbers start building up. But at the end of the day, we're just helping the ATO out with their tax collection, and you don't want to be making decisions again with and then end up getting caught short down the line.